My most sincere Deputy Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my colleagues here seated, the clerk, the staff, our distinguished guests who are here today. I welcome all of you to this sitting. I would say that this sitting is a special one, especially in the sense that we were here before. You would have seen the makeover of our sitting arena. And so we have our distinguished Deputy Senate President, who is here in person, sitting in for the President of the Senate, who is unavoidably absent today, to open this arena for business. Before I do that, I welcome all of you, Your Excellency, distinguished members of the committee, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the formal opening of the newly remodeled hearing room of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions. This committee was created by the Senate pursuant to the provisions of Section 62 and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 amended, and in accordance with the provisions of Order 40, 1 and 2 of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended. The committee is saddled, among other things, with the responsibility of protecting the civil liberties and constitutional rights of citizens against any form of administrative injustice. Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a significant milestone in our commitment to serve the people with diligence, dignity, and compassion. I would therefore extend our deepest gratitude to His Excellency, well represented here by his Deputy Senate President, for his generous support and unwavering dedication to enhancing the dignity and the experience of the petitioners. This renovated space symbolizes our collective resolve to provide a comfortable and conducive environment for the petitioners to feel at home and voice their concerns in a most dignified and responsible manner. In light of the above, the committee provided a number of facilities in the hearing room to enhance our functions and improve petitioners' experience. The committee is also working tirelessly to leverage on information and communications technology to provide opportunities for virtual hearings and e-petitions to Nigerians in the diaspora, Nigerian students, and the general public in general. Let us therefore proceed with a renewed sense of focus, mindful of our duty to uphold justice, freedom, and equity, as well as amplify the voices of the people in line with the representative role of the legislature. Your Excellency, like Oliver Twist, the committee will keep asking for more. On behalf of the committee, therefore, I would like to seek this priority attention in listening the committee reports for laying and consideration to other people whenever the reports are ready. I thank you for taking out the time, know how busy today has been, to come here to honor us and to declare this arena open. Mr. President, we can welcome.
The chairman of this esteemed committee and members of the committee, the clerk of the committee and all the staff of the committee, I join all of you to celebrate this very wonderful achievement made by the chairman and through the support of members. Of course, the chairman cannot succeed without the support of all the members of his committee. Mr. Chairman, you made history. This is a history made because it's during your time that this arena, this committee room serves as the face of the National Assembly, because it is the only place that people that have concerns in our society come here to be listened to, and then efforts are always made to assuage their feelings, agitations, and concerns. You are the face of National Assembly because the ordinary man comes here to seek redress. And you've done well by renovating this office so that people who come here will feel at home and very, very comfortable to be in the National Assembly. What you've done in renovating this office, or changing the face of this office, is not the credit of, or it's not only for the use of the committee members. And credit does not only go to you, it goes to the entire National Assembly. It demonstrates the kind of leadership we are offering to this committee. It shows the passion you have for your assignment and your desire to achieve success at all times. I will relay this, my experience now, what I'm seeing here, the Senate President. And I want to assure you that whatever requests that you might bring forward in the future, the leadership of Senate will always support you. Because what you've done now is unprecedented. There's no committee room that has been so organized and so modernized, just like this, just like what you have here. No office. In fact, no arena that is so designed, so done, like what I'm saying here. We are proud of you, Mr. Chairman. And I wish, I call on the clerk and his colleagues to take steps to continue to maintain this very beautiful area. Do not allow it to decay. Make sure you maintain this place, make it to continue to remain beautiful, to continue to be a legislative attraction. I'm sure some people will just like to come here and just see the place and behind and go away. So allow it to remain the way it is. And even if you have anything that you think should be added to it to make it more beautiful, please do so. Either through the chairman or through the management, because the management can also come to assist the committee. It is on this note that I declare this beautiful edifice open for the use of the committee and for the use of the entire National Assembly. I thank you all. Very well.
Good. Come on, join us. But of course, the plenary lasted beyond 2 o'clock. We were there until almost 3 o'clock. And other things, I'm just not able to get the Justice Senate President to come. Sandra knows that we left early all the time. So I truly thank you for waiting on us and for being part of this opening ceremony just with us. So thank you very much. We're going to start off without wasting further much time and call the clerk, please call the process.
The first case is between Ebeute Esquire on behalf of Mr. Joseph Johnson Akpan versus National Council for Arts and Culture. Is Mr. Akpan around?
Yes, I'm around.
Okay, is the National Council for Arts and Culture around?
We're here.
I, Joseph Akpan, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before the distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
I, Adi, from do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I'm trying to recall this case, and I think I remember it very well now. The last time we sat, we asked that you should bring us some evidence.
Yes,
Do you have anything in your possession for us to review?
we do some.
Can we have it? Look.
As we submitted to
Thank you, distinguished senators. The very first thing I want to say, I want to say I'm sorry. As per the last appearance that I was here, the query was brought by them, the National Council for Art and Culture. You know that I was queried because of my doing the job of not coming to work for a day. And I saw the query. I had completely forgotten that query. I had completely forgotten. It was after I left here, I went back and I called some of my colleagues that we were there then. And I found out, they now reminded me. And I remember that issue. It was on my way on my way to the job, to the work, to office, that I had an accident. And which somebody from the office came to see me and was supposed to go and report him to the head of zone. And the person failed to report to the head of zone until after I went back to the office the following day. I saw the head of zone, Mr. Susanya, and he came to the mechanic village in Uyo and saw the vehicle. He promised he would cancel the query, and I've long forgotten it. So please, not that I was denying the query, I never remember that such thing. I have completely forgotten it. That's the very first that I said when I come this second time, I will definitely clarify it and apologize as need arises. I'm really sorry. It is true. It is true. But I've long forgotten it was just the early time of my involvement in the National Council for Agriculture. We had an accident that came from the village in the car. So the car was spoiled and they took us to hospital. I wasn't really hot, but the car was mine. It was my father's car. So we were trying to fix it and I couldn't get back to the office. So and the head of zone had to come and see it. Because the person that I said to go and tell him, and he said he will take out the query, Mr. Susaya. I'm so sorry, I didn't know, I'd forgotten all those things. So that is number one.
I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
So that's number one. That's number two.
You said, the number two I want to say before even this paper, before me, that I know fully well that you don't terminate somebody's appointment, even if it's a private sector, without first, at most, maybe setting up a committee to tell the person why have you done this, or what is happening, why do this. The National Council for Art and Culture, I was just doing the job only for me to get a letter that the appointment has been terminated. And I didn't know the reason. The reason for my termination, because if they want to, like they have said, they say I was querying, and they brought out the query and which I've admitted. And two, they said, the lady said, I've been warned severally. And the several warning here, she has not put it before the committee that this is the evidence of warning. I want to also say that she wasn't in the Uyo Zonal Office, which I was for the 3 or 4 years that I worked there. I was in the Uyo Zonal Office. She wasn't there. And how would she know I was warned severally? If I had been warned severally, I also like the query she brought, they're supposed to have brought the query. And then the other thing I want to say, sir, she said the window was open for me to be reabsorbed. The window was open for me to be reabsorbed, but I refused the window. And I wonder who told me, and where is the letter of the window open, inviting me for a reabsorption, that I was doing politics, I was essay to the governor, this and that, and then I was essay 2011, and we are talking about 2003 to 2007. I had the job 2003, and February 2007, by the grace of God, by February I worked till 2007, and the appointment was terminated. And 2011, I then had an appointment as an essay.
Can you speak to the paper given to you? Forget about all those ones.
Okay. So, sir, yes. I have seen this. I have forgotten, as I said. But with this, my name is here. Yes. I remember.
Have you received it or not?
Whether I
have you received this amount or not?
Of truth, I have forgotten the.
Have you received the amount or not? Did you get it or not?
I received it. I want to believe I received it.
Okay.
I want to believe I received it. Okay. Because I remember we were called to Enugu, and after the few of us that were terminated, we were sent to Enugu, and from Enugu, after 1 or 2 things, or 2 days or so, we were sent back, and money was paid.
Okay.
All right.
Turn up your mic. You know, there were 2 issues. The first one was the query, which you said, I remember very well, which you said that you are not sure if you received it. But you have said now that you remember you received it, right?
Very well.
Okay, that's one.
Very well.
The second issue was the issue of severance. You also said you're not sure if you received the severance, and in fact that you didn't receive it. So we now ask them to provide us with evidence that they paid you. And the evidence is before you, and you have also admitted that you received it. So why are we here? you have received severance, and that completely sever you. Severance means severe. That completely sever you from them. Are you asking us to ask you to return the severance so you can go back to work? Or go back to work and just return the severance?
Can you take that again? That's question.
As a severance means severe. That's cut you, separate you. That is no more relationship. So they send you money in lieu of that severance. That is, if you receive this money, you are no longer with us. That's what it means. And memory failed you in the past, but now you remember that you received it. And so having received it, what are you not asking us to do? Are you not asking us to say, return severance back to them so they can go back to work? Or go back to work without returning severance? What do you want this committee to do for you now?
Thank you.
You want to be the judge.
Yes, I am going to do it. Thank you, my distinguished senators. I so much admire your wisdom. So if you check it is the 4th April, that was when the money, they said, the money was paid, 2008, and it's quite some time, that I had lost the memory of such amount. So I want the distinguished senators of this committee, I don't mind, I will return the severance and then go back to work, because I still believe in my heart that it was the National Council for Art and Culture didn't follow the proper procedure to terminate the appointments. I'm saying here, before everybody, I can return the severance any moment they want me to return and get back to work. That's my solution.
If I can ask a question, from 2008 to date, how many years now?
60 years.
From 2008.
60 years.
How many?
60 years.
16.
And they want to
Collected money 16 years ago. And now you're willing to fund the money. I've got value. I've got value. You collected this money 16 years ago. You finished with it, and today you realize that there is a need for you to come back and continue with your job. And that is why you are willing to return this money. Are you being fair to yourself and the government of this country?
Sir, I would have challenged this issue from the very first time. I had opportunity of you to cut, but I didn't want to cut matter. But I never had the privilege of sitting before you as I'm seated now. I never had such privilege. So it is when I had the privilege of petitioning, and I have somebody, a senator, that can also bring the petition and put it before the Senate for me. That's why they didn't have to delay till now. Just that I never had the privilege. I would have done it so many years back.
Just like I said, in 2008 you had the opportunity not to collect the money, you decided to collect the money. And now you are coming back. I don't remember that, yes, you still have maybe an opportunity. It's now that you remember you have an opportunity. But that time when you collected the severance allowance, it was okay for you. Am I correct?
Well, sir.
It was okay for you then.
Well, sir. I also want to answer you. By that 2008, if you check, as at then, the circumstances, the circumstances surrounding the retrenchment, let me use that word, circumstances surrounding the retrenchment, that it was so bad that anything that drops, one will want to pick it and just go. Anything, it was so bad and it was so severe that you never go on, you never request nothing. Just that to hear that the name is included and they say go to here, and at the end they say, okay, your job is terminated. I have no option, sir.
All right.
As at then.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask you two questions before the chairman.
The first question, if you ask him to throw the money, how much do you want to throw? Is it the same amount? Is it at today's value? Secondly, if you are taking you back to work, at what level do you want to go? You want to go back at level 9? You want to calculate the level you should be now. Tell us yourself these two questions. Answer these two questions first. Let me tell you. Direct. You don't want to hold this. Just tell us.
Well, sir, if you say I should return the money, and I will not sit down here and say I will return the money with so amount of interest, or the interest rate is this and that. I may not be able to calculate that for now. But if you permit
Tell us, are you paying the money the way you collect? You are paying as today's value. That's what they are saying. You collected 470,000 in 2008. What's the value as of today? Are you paying the money with today's value? Or you are paying 400,000 as you collected?
well, I will pay, if I pay as today's value, I should also be promoted to where I'm supposed to be as at today.
I'm going to answer first. Did you answer the first question?
Sir,
Did you answer the first question?
sir, if the committee at the end,
I'm asking you, answer the first question first.
okay.
Which one are you paying? You
I
say
will pay-
you
I will-
want to pay.
I will pay at today's value.
Okay. If you are restating you, at what level are you restating you to?
And because I'm paying at today's value, I should be promoted to where I'm supposed to be today.
Which is
And you are fair to yourself. To the
Sir,
country.
it's a where I'm fair
You are fair to
to.
the country.
This is my distinguished senator. I have not heard the last question. Just tell me what you were asking.
all right. Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished senators, you have anything to say? First case. You remember very well. This case, the first time we heard it.
Yes.
We asked the National Council for Arts and Culture
Yes.
to provide us with evidence that he did pay his severance. But he said he didn't remember or he didn't receive severance. And secondly, that they said that they also sent him a query, which he didn't answer. And he said then that he wasn't serving anymore. So they provided evidence today now, which he has submitted to us, that yes, he received the severance, and 2 yes, the query he received it. No. And so we are trying to find out how we can help him, but I don't know. If you have anything to say, so that I can
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sorry.
listen to this.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, we came in a little bit late. My name is Senator Mohammed Obushionao. I represent Nasarawa South. And I was here when we picked on this last case with the council. And from your briefing now, Mr. Chairman, I will suggest that we consider his case within the committee before, because there is every indication that he has lied on oath, that he told us here that he didn't receive any query, he didn't receive any severance, and by the proof provided, he has now accepted that he has received the query, he has also received the severance. So it's a decision that the committee will have to come together and
and take a decision on what happens if somebody lies on oath. What is the example we are going to set? What is the precedence we are going to set and things like that before the chairman pronounces his ruling? I think that's my take, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Nasir Sandra, Senator representing Essien North. Apologies for coming late.
Mr. Chairman, colleagues, I am Aminu Abbas from Adamawa Central, Adamawa State.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Ibrahim Kani from Ayoola State.
All right, Mr. Akpan. See, I didn't want to even go that route of line of vote. It's a very serious offense to lie on vote. And I remember very clearly the day we heard your case. And I kept telling you, you're not for track with me. And I also told you that I have very short fuse for what I would call something that's so obvious and like telling us otherwise. We are here now. I'm going to plead with my colleagues when it comes to what you did on that vote. So let us not focus on that one. But I think you have enough on your plate already. But I'll tell you very clearly, there's no way. This committee, first of all, is here to serve the ordinary Nigerian man and woman. That's what we're here for. We are here to see where there's fractions, where there's an oppression, or where there's a blatant disregard for the rule of law. Let it be that we're here to protect the ordinary Nigerian from those infractions. Your case is very different. You receive severance. You can't patch it. You can't patch it again. You can't patch it. It's done. My colleagues are calling my attention to imprisonment for 2 years or to both such kind of imprisonment. If convicted of any of all that is that which is lying on that oath. That's what we are very serious when we say take the oath. When we say administer the oath, take the oath. This is not, this is a parliament. If you understand what parliament means, you will know that we have judicial powers as such. You just can't come to us and lie under the oath. We take it very seriously. But I'm not going to go there, like I said, you have to not be list. But we tell you very clearly, you were issued a query which you didn't respond to, and you said you didn't remember you received it, but now you know. It's severance. Severance means you are severed, cut off. You will be disengaged. And you receive the money. So for you to, and then if I remember very well, in the course of our deliberation, you told us yourself that you did some other work. Since you left that agency, you did some other work. You worked for Senate President or something like that. At some point, you did your own family business and so on and so forth. And 16 years later, you are now coming. When there has been a severance, now there's a severance which you received. You now want to jettison all that and come back. It's not possible. There's no way we can help you to go back there. It's not possible. I'm sorry. On the issue of going to court, well, let me give you a free legal advice. There's a law they call statute of limitation. I think your statute is 7 years. The statute has run out. You can't even take this money but the way you went to take it. One lawyer of yesterday will dismiss it. That will be his mouth because of what the statute of limitation. This is the only place you have been reinstated. We can't look in all those legalities. But we are not able to help you at this point. So, with my colleagues concurrent, I hope, I will dismiss this case. I will forgive you for lying on oath. and we'll use this as some warning to others who are listening to us here. If this repeats itself, we may have to take a very serious action against those who come here to allow it. That's the decision of this committee.
The next case is between GK Rigange Esquire of PM Shagnah and Co. on behalf of Mr. Chabiya Denham versus National Agricultural Land Development Authority. Is Mr. DK Ringham around?
Are you around, please? Mr. Rigange? Rigange?
Yes, sir.
Is that your name? DK Rigange or Rigange?
Yes,
How do you pronounce it?
yes, sir. The one that filed the petition.
Okay, it's Rigange.
My name is M.O. Papa. They told me on the.
Are you a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer, sir.
Okay, you represent this gentleman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please turn off your mic. The National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, are they here? They're not here. Oh, hold on. No, NALDA is not here. All right, this is the third time this case is mentioned, if I remember very well. And NALDA is not here. In the last sitting, we insisted that he should come himself. That the executive secretary, what's his title? That he should come himself. He has not come. He has only sent a letter that we should move it to next week. Well, for all of us listening, the committee just want to be very clear on something. Maybe they don't know. We have the subpoena power. We can issue the warrant. And that is what we want to send clear to this gentleman in NALDA that is refusing to appear before this honorable committee. If he doesn't come again, we will go the full route to make sure that we compel him to come. He cannot stand up, continue to stand up the whole committee, the National Assembly, the Senate. He cannot do that. He cannot be that disrespectful to this committee. He has been summoned to come, he needs to be here. This will be the final adjournment of this matter. If it doesn't come in the next sitting, we'll go the whole route of issuing a warrant for his arrest. And we'll send this file to EFCC. There's something probably exciting. We'll send this file to EFCC to investigate it and report back to the Senate. Maybe he will listen at that point. And that's going to be the ruling of this committee for now. For now, we're going to tell him when to come again, and we'll communicate that to you. Thank you.
This is the chairman, sir. We are grateful.
We'll communicate to your client through you when the next sitting is. Thank you.
Chairman of this very crucial committee, my distinguished colleagues, the secretarians, our very esteemed guests. My name is Dr. Essien. I represent Benue Northwest Electoral District, and I'm a member of this committee. Thank you.
My name is Jacob Samson. I represent Akpan of South. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I will need my oath. Alhaji Umar first.
I want to add also, this solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Before the Triacta man takes his oath, we want to know the position he's holding in the company.
So please answer.
Whether he is capable of taking any decision or
Good afternoon, the Honorable.
Yes, sir.
In the distinguished house, my name is Ayoola. I'm the personal assistant to the NE, and he was here earlier on, but he had another commitment for 4 o'clock, so he had to leave a few minutes before 4. And the clerk to the committee was out.
Yes, sir.
Is that Triacta? Is that Triacta?
Yes, sir. The MD was here. He waited for like 2 hours. So as around 4, he said he wanted to leave and attend to another conference. I asked him to exercise patience or give an official letter to this person to represent him.
And so he asked him to represent him?
Yes, he asked him to represent him, but it was Babylon. And I told him that it's not Islam. But he was here for 2 hours.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, sir. On behalf of the Tunga community, which I represent here, they've come here to get justice. And from the proceedings so far, everybody seated here that you are capable of giving us justice. The personal assistant, not that I personally demean him, but he's not in a position to take any decision on behalf of the company. If he's an executive director or any person who is in a position or senior in the company that can take a decision, but whatever he is going to do as a special assistant is just going to report, they say this, and they so I will plead that in order to get justice, my people will not be tired of coming here as many times as possible, as long as justice is gotten. So I plead that we give the MD another day so that he can appear before this committee. I so please.
My distinguished brother, we were just conferring within ourselves because we came because of the opening ceremony. We didn't start by 2. I think we came after 4. And so they waited for that long. So whatever it is, we are considering actually adjourning this case so that we will not penalize them for our own delay. So we will adjourn this case. I want to the Umar, the Amyegye, the Tunga community development community, we apologize for this late starting, which probably is the reason why the MG is not here. Please accommodate us. We will adjourn, give a short adjournment for that date so that we can dispense with this matter.
We are grateful.
Thanks. Thank you very much. So that will be the short of this committee. Thank you. See, this is we really want this is your 2nd time here, right?
Oh.
Your 3rd time. And you're always here.
Yes, sir.
What day before WAEC?
Yes, they were here the last time on the 21st of February. They were here.
All right, let me tell you this. Where you come from?
From Port Harcourt.
All right. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
To at least cushion your traveling expenses. We'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, we are constrained to adjourn this matter. Why? Because they say they are writing exams now. And all of them are busy with that exam. I can't, with that in mind, if we go ahead with this matter, it will more or less look like unconscionable. Like they have a duty to perform, and that duty affects all of us as a nation. And we'll have to accommodate that. But I believe when you come next, that will be the last adjournment. Yeah. But like I said, don't worry, we'll do everything. We'll do it to cushion your expenses are coming.
I'm very grateful, sir.
That's okay. All right, thank you. So we'll adjourn this matter. According to the letter, we're going to adjourn to sometime in
After June 24th.
yes, after June 24th.
The exam will be by June 24th.
Around then. All right, so the adjournment is going to be after this date. All right, the clerk is going to communicate that to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Where do you live? Huh?
Delta State.
You come from Delta State for this matter? This is the first or second time of coming? Second time of coming. The first time were you here? Were they here?
He was there.
All right, Mr. Kenneth, Emeka, I regret to tell you that we have to adjourn this matter. And I understand that, like you said, this is the second time here, you come all the way from Delta. We appreciate that. But please indulge us to adjourn it. And I'm not able to come heavily on the Nigerian Export Promotion Council because they were here, but we were not ready at the time that they were here. So we adjourned for the third, I believe, final hearing date. So bear with us, and the clerk of the committee will communicate to you when we're going to see again on this matter, but we will have it short of one. All right?
Is Mr. Nureni around? Is Mr. Nureni Ayoola around? Okay, sir. The petitioner is not around. The petitioner is not around. Well, I just brought a letter.
Both parties are not present for this hearing. So we'll have the letter of INEC also requested for adjournment because of some of their assignments. Given the fact that both parties are not here, we will adjourn this case and we will communicate the new dates to both parties to be present and adjourn dates. That will be the decision of this committee. Thank you.
The next officer of the Nigerian Customs Service versus Nigerian Customs Service. Is Mr. Essien around?
Says okay.
Is Nigerian Customs around?
Nigerian Customs.
No, it's the list.
This is the third adjournment?
Is it third?
This is the third adjournment. Was custom here
You are here at the last year.
so one of them?
Sir,
The net presentation. The net presentation.
yes, the new president.
So we're supposed to be there.
So I asked them to go and bring the second document. No, sir, they didn't bring the document.
Service was directed to provide the following
Do it.
documents. I think this will be 2009 2010 staff. This is the nominal workforce.
No, the affected
staff and the number that is very active. Those staff that they had very active. The period of the service. So they didn't bring those.
Well, Mr. Chairman, you know, we've been here, this is the third time that we've been here. And on the custom was here on the 21st of February 2024. And you had directed them to bring a nominal roll of the 2009-2010 upgraded members of the officers, you know, the petitioners, the people who are petitioning. And we also had told them to bring the criteria which they used in promoting the new intakes over and above the petitioners. That's exactly what we are told them to do. And today I'm here and they're not here. That's all.
Gentlemen, all right, before we adjourn this case, I also want to be on record to the Nigerian customs that this committee, the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, is a very, very serious committee. It's a petition against the customs. And the last time we were here, we asked them to provide certain documentations. They are not here today, and those documentations are also not provided. But we need to also let them know that the senators here are busy. We are very busy. And if we invite them to come on a matter that affects them, we expect them to honor the invitation. And if you don't honor our invitation again, perhaps we may have to look into our laws and see what we can do to compel them to come. But we are not actually going to sit down here and wait on any services or anybody or any organization that have matters before us, keeping us waiting and sitting and not responding to the invitation. And so we are saying that the customs should make it possible for them to appear again when we ask them to appear. Let's adjourn date. And this committee will not be happy at all if they disrespect this committee again. So the new date is Mr. Essien is going to be communicated to you through the clerk and also to the customs. So bear with us. Thank you.
Okay, versus Nigerian Railway Corporation. Is engineer party around?
Yeah.
Is the Nigerian Railway Corporation around?
Yes, exactly. No, we'll do. Mr. Nathan, see, we are conferring over this matter. It's best to go about it. And we are doing so that we can at least see how we can bring about justice to this matter. We don't know where it is, whether it's you or them, we don't know. But as the case progresses, we need to see where the chips fall. But for now, they are not here. Railway Corporation is not here. And I don't want to waste your time talking on when they are not here. So we are going to adjourn this case. And when we adjourn it, we will take further steps as to what to do when they don't come the next time. Because I understand and I know that you spend money coming. Where did you always come from? What state? You. So you can see it's a a problem. Most of them come from outside Abuja. And we spend money staying in town, transportation, and all that risk of making it so on and so on. So we feel that we understand.
That's why we use it.
Yes, they're not taking us risks. No. We want to do something. Just not for one person. So please bear with us. We'll adjourn this case for the final time. When they don't come, then we'll know what decision to make. Please bear with us. Alright? That will be the order of this committee.
Ebeute versus the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. Is Mr. Walaka around? Is the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation around?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, the office, maybe the sense.
I, Ebeute, do solemnly swear that evidence as shown I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
I, Ajana Tufolaracha, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. Mr. Walaka Peter, I knew you were here before. And you, this is not city. And you made your presentation there. But, Auditor General, this is your first time of coming, right?
Yes, sir.
So now that you are on that boat, I will indulge you again, Sister Walaka, to tell this committee what the issues are and what you want the committee to do for you so that they can hear.
All right, so introduce the notes. On the 21st of February, I was here. We were called, he wasn't here. On the 12th of March, I was here. We were called, he wasn't here. Today, I am here. This gentleman is by my side. I don't know if they are from there. I don't know if they're from there. Though I know my case is almost 2 years plus now. I don't know if they are from there. The Auditor General is not here.
Tell us what you want this committee to do for you.
Sir?
Tell the committee what you want us to do for you.
All right, sir.
First of all, tell us the case. In your own words.
What I want you to do for me, sir, is for you, sir, to urge the office to reinstate me back to my position and then properly give me my retirement and entitlement. Because I was supposed to have retired 2022 and they kicked me off 2020 to 21.
So what happened? Why were you kicked out?
So, like I've been explaining, I was, like I said, I was disgracefully dismissed for no just reason of man. The corporate himself, which they all know, if they know, Tolo Tariga, if you go through my submission, sir, Tolo Tariga is the person that's supposed to stand as being dismissed. But then, like I said, my case is a misappropriation, misrepresentation. I was wrongly indicted. I was wrongly dismissed. So that is what I'm presenting to you, sir. The person that was supposed to be dismissed, right now, what they did, they collaborated with office. At the end of the day, they have been promoted out of Abuja to head the Delta State office as auditor in charge. Right now, that's where he is.
Is that all? So was there any petition, was there any allegation that was made against you?
That was what I said. That accusation of wrongly or rightly employing or giving application employment letter wasn't my fault. It was that Tolo himself was the person.
No, I'm not understanding.
What was the allegation about? Let us know.
What did they say you did?
The allegation is that I give employment letter. That was it.
For a fee? For a fee for money?
Yeah.
Actually, just like this evidence I have here now, the BA of this Tolo gave me this just last week to help me out on this case. This is the place he used in collecting money from this candidate. That is the list.
So the allegation against you was that you were given employment letter for money. And I'm not saying you did it, but that's what they say you did. So you're telling us that you didn't do it, but somebody else did it.
Who's the staff?
Who's the staff there?
Yes.
What's the name of that person?
Tolo Tariga. His full numbers is attached there.
Do you have any evidence to show that you did it?
Yeah, that is why I say, see this evidence shows that he did it. And he confirmed that he confirmed that he did it.
Okay, let's see.
Please, thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished police. Young man, you're not sounding convincing. If you're tell us what happened, then it is left for us to
Sorry, sir. I'm not a young man, sorry. I'm not a young person. I'm not a young man.
Okay. An old man. Tell us what happened. Because the way you're saying it, you are shielding some information. Tell us what happened. Then is left for us now to gather the information, filter it, then we will know what to do. But the way you're sounding neither here nor there.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, and also that this piece of paper you have given us just contain names of individuals. There is nothing other than names indicated here. I cannot even say whether this 150,000, 250,000, whether it is in Naira, we don't know what it is for. No, he's trying to say this is evidence that somebody was doing. There is nothing here. Nobody has said anything here to show that yes, it is emanating from somewhere. Where? This document is just a piece of paper written on it. It doesn't contain anything other than names of people. You don't even know what it is about. No heading. How would we do it for them? Look at it. Sorry, I think you were reported to the police. Were you at any time reported to the police?
Why are you going to the police? To the police?
Yes.
So it was the case referred to the police?
He was the one that was reported to the police. Who? Donald Tariga. Police arrested him on several cases.
What about you?
Who's Donald Tariga? Who's Donald Tariga?
Sir?
Who's that person that you know?
That's what I'm telling you now.
My friend, do you know this person? Do you know Ihoma Momo?
Ihoma Momo.
Do you know Ihoma Momo?
Her name is here, yes.
Have you met her before?
Yes, I was.
Tell us, have you met her before? I'm asking you to forget about what they was. Have you met her?
I was the one that introduced her.
To
that
who?
was it.
Introduce her
to
to
this Donald Tariga.
You introduce her?
Yes.
As what?
That was.
As what?
She was looking for a job.
And you say what to her? Yeah, you introduce her how? Just tell us, how do you introduce her?
Introduce her to get the job.
How do you introduce her? Just tell us.
That was it. I introduced her to this Electoral and then
to do what?
To her.
To do what?
For the job.
To give her a job.
They were the one giving the job. You have this collaboration with the accountant and they were the one giving the job. I introduced her to them.
How do you know Donald Tariga? How do you know him?
He's also a staff in our office of the Auditor General.
With you?
Yes.
Together with you?
Yes, we have staff.
And you met Ihoma personally, you? Have you met Ihoma personally?
Yes.
You met her?
Yes.
Why have you met before? Why have you met before?
When she came to the office.
Why have you met? How many times have you met her? And why did you meet her?
I've known her for some time. Yes.
Where did you meet her?
The first time was Federal Civil Service Commission.
Okay. Second time, where?
Then the second time was when she came to meet these people in the office.
Where?
When she paid this office
Which
of
office?
the
Where?
Auditor
Which office?
Office of the Auditor General.
Okay, and then next, where did you meet before? Have you met at Gibeah Street at any time?
Where?
Gibeah Street.
Gibeah Street?
Yes. Have you met at any point in time at Gibeah Street?
That also was.
Have you met at Gibeah Street at any point in time? Yes or no? Just tell me, forget about it.
Yes, that's what I'm on.
You met Ihoma at Gibeah Street at any point in time? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
She introduced another person to you at that time? Yes or no?
No.
She didn't introduce anybody?
No. She was the only one that introduced to this people.
She was the only one?
Yes.
And she didn't introduce anybody to you? After that, nobody was introduced to you?
No.
Yeah? Come, Mr. Man, I'm an investigator. Certified investigator. Not, I'm asking you to tell me straight. The way you are behaving, you are not behaving very well.
Sorry, is it the husband you are talking?
I'm asking you, put the
husband, because the husband came with her, that's what I mean. The husband came with her.
It's not even
All right. Okay. Mr. Walaka, right? You see, it's looking more and more strange. We haven't even asked them any question now. We haven't even asked them. We're just going by what we have in paper here. My question is a very simple one. You said you introduced that person to who? Tariqa. Tariqa is a staff like you in the same office.
That is this person now in the office.
Okay. Tariqa, is his function in the office employing people part of his functions? No. Is his function part of employing people in the office? Yes or no? Yes, no. Is it?
For the office, no.
Okay, so now you introduce him, you introduce somebody to him to give him employment. Where do you think he was going to get that employment?
We were doing it with the general's office and it was working for them.
So why didn't you take him straight to the general's office?
Because they were the one doing it. I don't know who to meet that.
So were you aware that money exchanged hands?
She paid to them, yes.
How much did she pay to them? How much did she pay to them?
400.
How do you know?
This
list is of no value. How did you know that 400,000 naira was given to Tariqa?
Tariqa told me now.
Okay, that told them gave me 400,000 naira.
He told me now.
How much of
when I introduced her?
How much of it did Tariqa give you? How much of it did he give you?
You mean who?
Tariqa. Does he give you money when you introduce somebody to him? Right? That person will pay you 400,000 naira for a job. Did the person get the job?
He gave her employment details now. I don't know. At the end of the day, she came back that the job is not.
Okay, did he give her the job? Is it him or her?
Her.
Oh, did he give her the job? But she gave him 400,000 naira. How much of that 400,000 naira did Tariqa give you?
400,000 naira.
Of that money, what commission? How much did he give you?
Sincerely speaking, he gave me a commission.
How much?
For giving him.
Okay, how much?
50,000.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Please, let me. Mr. Deputy Director Ajanaku.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Fujile, Assistant Director.
Yes, sir.
Ogu Ishino, Kenneth, Chief Auditor.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Chairman and my colleagues, I don't want to say old man, but there are no old men in government services again. Old men have since retired and are working in the house. You see, I'm meeting you for the first time. When you took that chair, you were asked to explain the circumstances that led to your dismissal or disengagement from the service. You found it difficult. You spent more than 10 minutes talking about Tariqa. Tariqa is not before us. You're not talking about yourself. So I want to ask you, tell us what actually happened. Because you were just jumping from one position to the other without narrating the whole scenario that led to your dismissal. Also, I did this, I did that, so that we have a full picture of what happened, what led to your. We're talking about Tariqa. So tell us what will happen. That is one. Number two, from the brief exchange between you and us here, you already admitted to a commission of crime. You admitted to the fact that somebody came to buy employment and you brought the person. And the person paid and you had a commission of 50,000 naira. That is total admission of crime.
Proceed of crime.
Are jobs supposed to be sold? Did you buy your own when you were being employed? Did you pay any damn to people who you were employed? So you can see that sometimes you come to us and you don't even try to consult us. The way you started already, everybody wanted to ask you a question. Because you didn't come straight. So please, calm down. Just tell us. We don't want to hear from this side yet. Tell us exactly what led to your dismissal. Already we have heard 30% of why you were dismissed. 70% is still hidden in your heart. Tell us, were you involved in any racket, job sales, and you were punished?
Any job racket. Like I told you, she knew me when I was in Civil Service Commission. Okay? So when this job of a team happened, and he said they are doing it in the tutorial and that was how I introduced her to these people, TUDA and the people doing it. That was exactly what happened. So at the end of the day, he now collaborated with the directors to indict me.
All right.
That was it.
So the deal. All right.
Mr. What is your name? What's your name?
Walaka Peter.
Huh?
Peter Walaka.
Walaka. See, four of us here, all of us have experience. You want to work somewhere, all of us, you are not just going for the first time. We are all in public. We all went to campaign. You know what it means to campaign? To convince people. Huh? We all went to convince people to be voted. We are not fools. Look at us. You know how to win election in this country. Don't look at us here and think we are fools. You open up and tell us. If you are coming to us to help you, you tell us the truth. If you think you go and fool us to help you, you will not do it. You are wasting your time. And you waste our time. So he asked you a question, tell us what happened. He said, they just say you do the color red and they dismiss it. What do you dismiss her? Will they just dismiss it like that? We have all the papers here. And we are reading everything here. So it's left to you. Whether you make your case up or you leave us to take decision.
Do you have anything to add?
Sir, is it for me to add, if not, exactly what I've said? And then I said, this is what happened. At the end of the day, this is what happened.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Totally fine. That's fine. Auditor General's office, do you have any, you listen to him?
Yes, sir.
He said you wrongfully dismissed them for what you knew nothing about. So do you have anything to tell us?
Yes, sir. On the contrary, Walaka Peter Ebeute.
Who is speaking on Clement Chile?
My name is Ajana Kufolo.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, sir. Walaka, due to his conduct, gross misconduct, serious misconduct, was reported by one Ihioma Moses. She forwarded a formal complaint to the office. That's in our paragraph 2 and 3 before you, sir. In respect of one of our sisters, one Cherry Chief, Emeka, and all is in a bid to get, or he promised them employment. The Ihoma Momo, Mrs., with her husband, met with him that is in her complaint, which is submitted, that her husband agreed to give Walaka landed papers from AMAC worth 1.5 million in lieu of physical cash. Also, Walaka was advanced 450,000 naira, which led him to produce a fake letter to them, which she even attended an interview conducted by FCSC as at then. When later they discovered, I just want to be brief, when later they discovered it was a fake appointment letter, they disturbed him. If you look into paragraph 3, they disturbed him. It was causing embarrassment for him, and he paid part of the money. He paid 300,000 out of 450,000.
Who paid?
Walaka.
Who is Walaka?
Are
you Walaka?
For God and man.
Wait now.
Pay Kobo.
Wait.
Sir, before
you have your time. Can you
wait now?
Wait, continue.
Yes, sir. It's attached as our annex short for you, sir. On the receipt of all this complaint, the Human Resource then issued him a query. In his defense, he stated that he only introduced Momo to the persons concerned at Accountant General's office and a staff of Auditor General office. But the complainant didn't complain about the names he was mentioning. They only complained about his misgivings. And he arranged with them, paid the 300 as I've said, 150,000 is outstanding. And in your response, your representation to the query issued to you, you stated that he only acted as an intermediary between Momo and Tulu and Nuga. So he is the culprit between the buyers and the purported sellers. If you check our paragraph 5, a group of staff, 8 in number, Walaka convinced them that he could help their relatives and wards with federal appointment. I have 8 names here. One of them is retired now. The retired person paid him 1.1 million naira. Others paid ranging between 350 and 550. A total of 4,250,000 naira. At this juncture, the office stopped his salary and he protested. Wrote a series of letters that his salary cannot be stopped because he has not been convicted, so his salary should remain. In our paragraph 6, you would read that the Nigeria police force invited him. Yes, and in paragraph 6, you discover that the Nigeria police invited him for an investigation activity for breach of trust, cheating, extortion, and fraud, which I know he submitted or reported to the police as at then. Due to all these reports forwarded to the office, complaint forwarded to the office through its Act, that is Anti-Corruption Transparency Unit of the office, in collaboration with the Human Resource Department, carried out a verification exercise as at then, and where it was established that Walaka was involved in fraud, cheating, and extortion in the guise of providing employment. So after this investigation by our Act 2 unit and the HRM department, Human Resource Department, the Auditor General then, based on the recommendation of Act 2 and Human Resource, approved that his case should be forwarded to the SSC, that is the Senior Staff Disciplinary Committee, and the disciplinary committee, SSC Disciplinary Committee, waded into the matter. The meeting held, that was, sorry, I know it's attached as Annex to 8. The committee found him guilty, made their recommendations, forwarded to Federal Civil Service Commission, because only Federal Civil Service Commission has a core mandate of appointment, promotion, and discipline. And after evaluating his matter, they deemed it fit for him to be dismissed from service. So
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Turn off your mic.
Sir?
Turn off your mic. Well, thank you very much. We just wanted to hear from you because legally or common sense, he has spoken his own side of the story. We needed to also hear from you. And we'll hear from you. And I don't see difficulty in arriving at a decision here. So, Walaka.
No, Chairman, sorry, I have a question. From the document I have here, you said the salary was topped in 2012. 2012. No, it's 2017. It's 2012. 2017 here. Okay, and let me also add that you made mention of him collecting money from even staff.
Yes.
Yes. And employ their relations.
Relatives and what?
Those staff, are you going to provide them?
Okay, sir. Those still in service would do so. Sir, the 8 staff I mentioned, you will see it attached as Annex to 4, their names, their amount, and the petition they wrote is attached. Only one person among them for now is retired.
So, what you are saying that this 1, 2 to 8,
yes, sir.
they are still in service?
Number 6 is retired, a Jaffe Williams, who paid the 1.1 million.
6 is retired?
6 is retired, sir.
So, they actually got the job?
They did not.
You were working there before?
With the employer, yes.
Okay, with the employer. Anyway.
He had, sorry, pardon me, sir. He had the opportunity of dissuading people because he's an auditor on posting to Federal Civil Service Commission. So that was, I believe that is how.
No, repeat that again. He had the opportunity to do what?
To dissuade people.
Or
to defraud them or convince them in his own way for the fact that he's an auditor posted on posting. It's not an FCS staff on posting to Federal Civil Service Commission as at then.
I really don't want to belabor this matter at all. It's clear in my mind. You know why? So, Walaka, you've admitted to this committee that one, you introduce somebody to a staff in the office whose responsibility is not to hire anybody. You also admitted too that the person paid 400,000 naira to that staff for promise of a job. 3, you admitted that you were given, you received 50,000 naira of that 400,000 as your commission. That's an accessory after the fact. It's a crime. For you to now come to the committee to tell us to reinstate you in that state of mind when inequity you haven't come with clean hands is difficult. Indeed, it's impossible. So, for me, your prayers, your petition has failed. And we are so sorry that we're not able to help you. And that's the decision of this committee.
Is Obima Security Planning Committee around?
Yeah, representatives.
So, can you please sit somewhere else so that they can see?
The evidence that shall be for the distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So that it is
evidence that I shall give a presentation I will make before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
You are representing who?
I'm representing that you don't Chima Elder Christopher Igwe, and some other people. One is in Japan, the rest. All of them are
all right, very good. Mr. Obima's planning, are you here for yourself or your attorneys for that?
We are attorneys.
Your attorneys for, do we have your letter of representation, please?
We made our submission.
Who signed that submission?
Our colleague, Amyegye.
Amyegye Emmanuel is a
Yes,
are you from his office?
He's a Port Harcourt-based lawyer, distinguished senator. He's a Port Harcourt-based solicitor, while we are based in Abuja and we collaborate from time to time.
Yeah, but see, I'm trying to tie into this case. Right? That's what I asked. I can see that Amyegye Emmanuel is the attorney on record. But I'm trying to see something authorizing you to be there for either for criminal security planning or for Amyegye himself.
So we are here for Alhaji.
That's what you are saying.
Yes.
But I don't have anything on for record for that purpose. I know we are not a civil or what. But you understand attorney, I'm a lawyer too.
I understand.
So you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes, I do.
You reason to say you represent this person.
Yes.
But you are not the lawyer of record.
Yes.
And there's nothing here to substitute it or to add you to it. If you were from that chambers, I would say, okay, you're from the chambers. But you are not from the chambers. You will collaborate because it's a Abuja. But is there any letter to that effect?
We do not have any letter. However, we have conversations which are record and also
so what records?
Senate. We have chat communication wherein they authorized us, and we also have had discussion. So we will not come for this August community. I mean the August committee, I'm sorry, without proper representation. So we have his instructions.
You see, we want to be sure that the decision will arrive at here is defined. And not somebody telling us that I was not represented. And the person will be very correct to say so because we have nothing on record.
So in that,
I have difficulty admitting you to represent this person. Is this your first appearance?
Yes, this is our first
appearance. Is it first appearance of this case?
Yes, this is his first appearance.
Mr. Aruchu,
sir,
are you listening to what we are saying?
Of course, I'm listening.
Now, we are protecting you.
Yes, sir.
We are protecting you. I am constrained to continue with this case because of the lack of representation as I see so far. I'm thinking I should adjourn it and make them bring me a letter that represents either Obina security planning or Amyegye as a UK. have that, then we know that whatever decision we reach here on this matter will be binding on all parties. My distinguished colleagues, you understand what I'm saying? It's easy for me to explain this to you than maybe to someone who's not about it. So please, Mr. Arochukwu, we will adjourn this case.
Yes.
For them to give us proper representation.
Yes.
So that when we come to a decision, either way, we're binding on both of you legally. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. But I have an application, sir. Can parties exchange their presentations so that if people have further facts or further information or any response to the presentation made by any of the parties, the person can furnish the distinguished August body further and better information going forward on the next agenda?
It's the same thing. Again, if I allow them to take up the statement and on record, it means I'm waived it. I don't want to waive it.
I understand, sir. I will draw my application.
So you see, the decision of this committee that for the reasons just adduced, which is that we need proper representation for OBNA security planning for us to be able to proceed accordingly. Therefore, this case will be adjourned, and the next adjourned date will be communicated to both parties.